And a guy that I was always thinking, he is number 2 on the all-time career list for assists and steals at the University of South Dakota. Don't know if you realize that. Our guest at this time, Blazer assistant Nate Tibbetts.
So he giveth and he taketh away.
Right, he did both.
Okay.
He did both at South Dakota. Yeah, he did. I just want to know who was better than Coach Tibbetts in those categories. Was that person number 1 on both lists, Coach, or did you have the versatility that person did not? Maybe one guy was number 1 in assists, another guy was number 1 in steals, but you're almost at the top of the list on both those accounts.
Yeah, I think the reason I was close to the top on both is I couldn't shoot, so I had to do something to be out on the court. But yeah, there was a kid that came in right behind me right after I finished. A guy named Josh Mueller, and he played all 4 years. Had a really good career there. He actually played with my brother, so I got to watch him play quite a bit. He was a really good player for the Coyotes there for a couple years, and it's fun every time I see him. He gets to remind me that he I had the record for a short time, and he beat me. So that's the way records are set up to be broken, right?
No, I disagree, Coach. I think that once you break a record, it should stay that way forever. I set the record for a single season block shots, and then like 2 years after I graduated, some dummy came and broke it. I'm still not happy about it.
I can tell. Well, at least you guys can say you set the bar. You set the bar that had to be passed.
Yeah, but then somebody broke it. Nobody even knows my bar was ever there. It's ridiculous, except for me. It's terrible.
Well, now we know. Now we all know. So that's the good thing. Coach, what is it like days after this, over the course of a long NBA season? I know, you guys as coaches and players are always taught to try to not get too high after great wins, not too low after games that you feel you should have won. But it's human nature, and everybody's disappointed when you do lose. What is practice like when you get everybody back together and you're trying to fix the things that maybe you want to improve on, while also looking back a little bit, but knowing that you've got another game coming up tomorrow?
Yeah, I think it just depends, day to day. You guys both know the NBA, it just keeps coming. It's not like, we could have a really hard practice today because tomorrow we got a really good team coming in here. But it's always good to get together after a win or a loss, like that, just to kind of reconvene and either watch some film or talk about some things that maybe we didn't do as well as we needed. The thing is we had an opportunity to win last night, and it wasn't our best performance. Golden State was my scout, and I feel like they're, top 1 or 2 teams in the West right now. Obviously, it's early, but that team is loaded, and we had our chances. They're playing at a high level, new energy with the new coach, and we did some good things. I didn't think our defense was very good in the first quarter, but we really responded and guarded extremely well the next 3 quarters, and that's one thing that we've really been, talking about in the preseason and during training camp, and I think our guys have responded. Now we just got to get it going at the other end, and I think we've got enough good offensive players that it's gonna turn around for us there.
Coach, talk to us about what's happening on the offensive end. Obviously, teams are playing the pick and roll a little bit different, but that's not – it seems to me it's just guys aren't making the shots that they normally make. I mean, there's not a lot of commentary other than eventually those shots are going to start going in.
Yeah, if you're a shooter, you got to keep shooting. That's what they tell me. I wasn't a shooter, but we've got some great shooters on this team. I think – we had 25 to 30 good looks last night that we just missed. And, I was proud, and I think our staff was proud of the way we kept competing defensively, although we were struggling at the offensive end. Usually your offense affects your defense, and we kept battling to give ourselves put ourselves in position to win the game. And, it didn't happen That's how NBA games go. It's one possession here, one possession there. But guys came in today, got some work in, got some shooting in, and they're going to continue to stay with it because that's what our guys do.
Coach, before you got here to Portland, of course, you were in Cleveland, and it was a different time. I mean, obviously now the whole state is excited because LeBron is back, and they've added Kevin Love, and they've got Kyrie Irving, one of the best young point guards in the league, who gave you a lot of credit for his early development in the NBA. But it was a different time after LeBron had left the first time. What do you remember about your days in Cleveland as an assistant with the Cavs, and could you sense that the fandom was such that if they ever got the blessing of LeBron coming back again, that they would come back with the fervor that they have already?
Well, yeah, I mean, I got there 1 year after he left, and then I left, and 1 year later he comes back, so I don't know where I fit into that. But, the city of Cleveland is hopeful for a winner. I know that. I'm happy for Kyrie and Tristan and Dion. Those guys were all there, and obviously Andy was there, and those guys are all great guys. And when you're on losing teams, it's tough. It's really tough. It challenges every day to come in and work and continue to try to get better. And those guys did that. They stayed with it, and they have a bright future. And obviously with LeBron coming back, that city is really excited about their opportunities this year, and they should be. They've got a great cast around them.
Coach, you talk about LeBron and Kyrie Irving, but the guy who's really shocked me this season has been Kevin Love. A lot was talked about in terms of who he was and how he was going to have to adjust his game, and he just seems to have really fit in. He's certainly adjusted, but he's making shots, he's creating opportunities, but more importantly, he's continuing to be that rebounder that he's always been.
Mm-hmm. I mean, one thing, like I've heard Charles Barkley say it a number of times, it's easier playing with better players, and Kevin Love has proved that. I think he can do a lot of different things. He can post it, he can rebound it, he can shoot it. So, he's letting Kyrie and LeBron do their thing, and, he's kind of fitting in where he can. He's a very highly skilled guy, and I think he's just excited to be part of a winning culture. He's been on some rough teams in Minnesota, so he's kind of found some new life, and right now he's doing anything to help them win basketball games.
We kind of saw this a little bit last night. You're going up against maybe as potent an offensive guard duo as there is in the NBA, and Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, guys that you could actually play some pretty good defense against, and because they're so talented and such great shot makers, they still might be able to do some successful things offensively. LeBron is just such a unique talent, a guy that can sprint up and down the floor and yet can overpower you, never seems to ever get hurt, seems to be as athletically gifted as anybody that's ever played the game, and can beat you in so many different ways. How do you even try to put a game plan together for a guy that in many ways has a lot of counters for whatever teams come up with, and yet I suppose you try to make his life as difficult as it can be, and yet still knowing that he may find a way to still do some very productive things.
Yeah, I mean, just as skilled as he is, he's probably one of the smartest players that's played the game in the last, 15, 20. I mean, he is really, really intelligent when it comes to just thinking the game. We're not going to do anything that he hasn't seen or thought through. But we got to stick to our principles and do what we do. Maybe, show him a different look here and there. But we have to, try to put pressure on him when we can and back up and give him space when we need, or if we get a switch or, different situations. I think our guys are pretty locked into our principles on what we want to do. And, I think the thing with him is, he wants to create for others, and right now he's got a lot of guys that can score and shoot it, so we can't overreact. Although at times you want to, because he's so talented. We gotta stay home and maybe make him finish over one guy instead of, 3 guys going to him.
Coach, thanks so much for the time, for the insights, and we'll let you get back to some prep work for tomorrow, and we'll look forward to seeing you at the Moda Center, hopefully for a positive night against LeBron, Kyrie, Kevin, and the rest of the Cavaliers tomorrow.
All right, guys. Thanks a
Blazer
lot.
assistant Nate Tibbetts joining us here on Trailblazers Courtside.